Stop everything. If you have a cruise booked, or you're even thinking about booking one, you need to hear this right now. The cruise industry is in crisis mode. Policies are changing overnight. Prices are spiking without warning. Entire destinations are being abandoned, and some of the world's biggest cruise lines are quietly making moves that could cost passengers hundreds, even thousands of dollars. This isn't fear-mongering, it's fact. In the next few minutes, you'll hear about the deposit disaster that could wipe out your future cruise credit, a scandal involving hidden cameras on a Royal Caribbean ship, and why a brand new border rule in Europe could turn your dream vacation into a 4-hour airport nightmare. So before you pack your bags or swipe your card for that next deposit, watch this, because the rules of cruising are changing right beneath your feet. Before we dive in, if you care about staying one step ahead of the cruise lines, hit that like button right now so this video reaches more travelers before they get blindsided. Leave a comment below with your take on these stories and tell me which cruise line you think is pushing things too far. And if you want the full truth the cruise industry rarely advertises, subscribe to Cruise Advisor and turn on notifications, because this channel is here to protect your wallet, your itinerary, and your sanity at sea. All right, let's break down the 10 biggest cruise stories shaking the industry right now.
1. Princess Deposit Disaster. Your money may be gone before you even sail. We start with a policy change that could quietly cost you hundreds. Princess Cruises has officially made all new deposits non-refundable by default. That means unless you manually choose a refundable option and pay more for it, your money is locked in. Cancel your cruise? That deposit is gone. Even travel agents were caught off guard because the rollout came early and without warning. To make it worse, the booking system is confusing. In some cases, the refundable fare and the non-refundable fare are only a couple of dollars apart, but the consequences are massive. One passenger reported that their refundable fare was $686, compared to just $342 for non-refundable. Sounds like a deal, right? But cancel that trip and you lose everything. And here's the hidden sting. If you used a future cruise credit, which is often bought on board for $100 to secure your next trip, and you cancel under the non-refundable plan, that credit disappears completely. You don't get it back. Princess says this aligns with other cruise lines like Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, but make no mistake, this is about protecting their bottom line, not yours. Always double-check your deposit type before clicking book. Otherwise, your next cruise could cost you before you even set sail. 2. Celebrity pulls out of Haiti. Destination abandoned until 2027. Next up, a move that has stunned loyal cruisers. Celebrity Cruises has officially canceled all visits to its private destination in Haiti, not just for this season, but through 2026. That's right, no sailings until 2027. The decision comes amid rising security and instability in the region, echoing a similar move by Royal Caribbean earlier this year. But Celebrity's long-term pullout signals something more serious, that the area is simply not safe enough for cruise operations in the foreseeable future. Entire itineraries are being rewritten, with ships rerouted to alternative Caribbean ports. And while the lines say safety comes first, the sudden cancellations are frustrating passengers who planned once-in-a-lifetime trips that now need to be rebuilt from scratch. It's rare for a cruise line to abandon a private island for years, and it shows just how unpredictable even safe destinations can be in today's cruise world. 3. Royal Caribbean camera scandal. Lawsuit could change cruise privacy forever. Now to a disturbing story that's shaking the cruise industry to its core. Royal Caribbean is facing a class action lawsuit after a stateroom attendant aboard the Symphony of the Seas was caught hiding cameras in passenger bathrooms. The footage allegedly includes nearly 1,000 passengers, including children, recorded without their knowledge. The crew member has already been convicted and sentenced to 30 years in prison. But the lawsuit continues, with victims claiming the cruise line failed to protect them. Royal Caribbean argues that all emotional distress claims must go through arbitration, as stated in the fine print of their cruise contracts. But lawyers are pushing back, saying most passengers never read or fully understand that clause. This case could redefine passenger privacy at sea, and determine whether cruise lines can continue to hide behind legal loopholes when safety failures occur on their watch. 4. Europe's 4-hour airport nightmare. New rules create travel chaos. If you're heading to Europe for a cruise, brace yourself. The European Union is rolling out a new border control system across the Schengen zone, affecting countries like Italy, Spain, Germany, and France. Travelers from the US, UK, and Canada must now go through electronic kiosks that capture fingerprints, photos, and personal declarations. The rollout has already caused massive delays, with reports from Helsinki of thousands of passengers missing flights and waiting up to 4 hours to clear checkpoints. If your flight connects through a Schengen airport before your embarkation, this could be disastrous. Imagine landing in Frankfurt, missing your next flight to Rome, and watching your cruise sail away without you. The message is clear: leave extra time, a lot of it, or risk losing your entire vacation before it even begins. 5. NCL quietly cuts speed and your port time. Next up, a subtle move that's raising big suspicions. Passengers aboard Norwegian Cruise Line's Escape were stunned when, just 1 day before departure, NCL drastically changed the itinerary. Ports like San Juan and Grand Cayman were suddenly replaced with lesser-known stops and an extra sea day. The reason? A required adjustment that slightly reduces sailing speed. That vague phrase caused an uproar online. Slower speeds mean lower fuel costs, but they also mean less time in port. Some passengers lost up to 6 hours of shore time across 3 destinations. Cruisers are asking, was this really mechanical or financial? If cruise lines are quietly altering advertised itineraries to save fuel, that's more than inconvenient, it's deceptive, and it could open new debates about what unforeseen changes really mean under maritime law.
6. Port Miami fuel crisis, the world's busiest cruise port in jeopardy. Now to the home base of the cruising world and a looming disaster few saw coming. Port Miami relies on a private fuel terminal on Fisher Island to refuel its fleet of massive ships. But that land has just been sold for $180 million to a luxury real estate developer who has no intention of keeping it a fuel facility. Without a replacement site, Miami could literally run out of refueling capacity. County commissioners are considering drastic measures, including eminent domain to seize the property, but time is running out. If a solution isn't found soon, cruise ships may be forced to home port elsewhere, sending ripple effects across Florida's economy and the entire cruise industry. It's not just about gas, it's about geography and the future of cruising in the Western Hemisphere. 7. The $60 steak. Princess joins the price surge. If you thought cruising was still the best bang for your buck, think again. Princess Cruises has quietly doubled the cost of its specialty dining at the Crown Grill. What used to be a $29 steak dinner now costs around $60 per person on select ships. That change comes as the line debuts new restaurants like Makoto Ocean, a high-end sushi experience. But the trend is clear. Cruise dining is no longer the affordable luxury it once was. The new prices put Princess on par with Royal Caribbean and Norwegian, meaning the days of cheap fine dining at sea are officially over. So when you see those all-inclusive ads, remember, the fine print now has a price tag. 8. LA Customs meltdown. Hours in line, no relief. Back on U.S. soil, another travel nightmare played out in Los Angeles. At the Port of LA, foreign passport holders, including Canadians, were stuck in line for hours as U.S. Customs struggled to process thousands of disembarking passengers. Reports describe elderly travelers forced to stand with luggage for over an hour and a half while the U.S. citizen line moved freely beside them. At one point, nearly 3,500 domestic travelers cleared customs before the first non-U.S. passenger did. The issue? Not enough agents or working kiosks for international arrivals. It's a stark reminder that the cruising experience doesn't end when you dock, and sometimes the worst part of your trip begins the moment you step off the ship. 9. Princess slashes port rebate shopping. The hidden perk that vanished?
Another quiet change from Princess, and this one hits your wallet directly. For years, passengers using the Medallion Pay system in port received a 7% rebate on their purchases. That rebate has now been slashed to just 2% without fanfare or clear explanation. Princess says more merchants are joining the program, but for cruisers, that means less value per dollar spent. It's a small change on paper, but across a week-long cruise, it adds up. The bigger issue, transparency. These quiet cutbacks, from deposits to dining to rebates, show a pattern of cruise lines clawing back passenger perks while advertising luxury at sea. And finally, Disney. The Disney Destiny has officially joined the fleet, a gleaming new LNG-powered ship that expands Disney's eco-friendly lineup. But even with that excitement, passengers are noticing a few rules that might surprise you. Power strips, banned. Breakfast room service, only if you hang your order card by 3 a.m. These strict rules are part of Disney's ultra-controlled onboard experience. And while it's still the gold standard for family cruising, even Disney fans admit the rules can be a little, well, Mickey micromanaged. Still, the Destiny's debut marks another milestone for the industry. Modern, efficient, and cleaner ships sailing into a future that's anything but predictable. Cruise lines are rewriting the rule book, quietly, constantly, and always in their favor. Deposits are vanishing, perks are shrinking, and destinations are disappearing from the map. The days of carefree, predictable cruising are over. Today, it's about vigilance, awareness, and reading every line before you click book. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button right now. If you've ever felt tricked, overcharged, or blindsided by a cruise line policy, tell us in the comments. Which cruise line do you think is pushing passengers too far? That one question sparks the biggest debates in our community, and I'll be reading every comment. And don't forget, subscribe to Cruise Advisor and turn on notifications so you never miss another update that could save you time, money, and major frustration. Until next time, I'm your host from Cruise Advisor, reminding you that the calmest seas often hide the roughest waters beneath. Stay smart, stay safe, and happy sailing.